It is up, everyone. This is Captain Eon speaking, and I'm sharing from chapter 47, verses 3 to 12, on the idea of live streaming. As I dosed myself with today's treatment, this portion of scripture really intrigued me, particularly for the fact that as he was led out by the man, as he describes it, in chapter 3, this man first makes a measurement and then leads him through this water that he previously saw flowing from the threshold of the temple, which I looked up meaning like an entrance to the temple. And this continues except for the last time he measures it. And when he measures the water, it is now as deep as a river. And it caught my attention because when it was this deep, he was no longer led. And for some reason, that just kept it stuck with me. And I started forming this idea around it by asking the question, what does this water represent? Which eventually became this river. But what is this water meant to represent? And for me, I immediately began to equate this water to being the Spirit of God. Not just because over the years I've come to be familiar with phrases like rivers of living water coming from the soul. I think that's the main one. But also the idea of being washed. All of these I attribute to the Spirit of God. On top of that, in the beginning of chapter 47, it says the water is issuing from the temple, i.e., the dwelling place of God. So for me, putting this all together, it just made sense that this water, which became a river, was speaking of God's Spirit. And then further going through, it talks about how this river was supplying nourishment to the trees all along its bank. I immediately started thinking about the trees planted by the river, bearing good fruit. Again, reinforcing my idea that this water pertains to His Spirit. And then I started getting this notion of, and it's a play on words with the title, of course, live streaming, but also the more familiar term with this is live streaming. And so I looked at this river, and streaming content nowadays is known for really just like being engulfed in a wave after wave after wave of ideas and information content. Well, maybe again, just maybe, this is, nothing but really my opinion, that the reason why Ezekiel wasn't led through and I'll insert my thoughts here, the Spirit of God when it was so deep as to be a river, was because to stream His presence in such quantity is overwhelming. It's unbearable. And I know I've had experiences in the presence of God in devotion time and at different points in my life where it felt like it was too much for my body to handle. Like my being couldn't take it. He's just that great. And because He loves us so much, He would not destroy us. His intent is to build and grow and prosper and have us be fruitful trees. My bad. Have me being a fruitful tree, because I don't want to speak for anybody else. Even though I feel it's universal, I'm taking this time to really share my thoughts and ideas and want to convey them as such, as being, my thoughts and ideas. So what I gather from today's treatment, the new stream of consciousness that I come away with from this point on getting to live in, is the fact that it's important just to stay in the proximity of His Spirit, His presence, and to know that it's okay. He won't lead me to the rapids of His ever-flowing presence. He's reserved a glorified body for me that is able to handle such glorious turbulence. Caption this. Is anyone else seeing this? Because this guy's learning to live streaming. Sir.